From Ada, we have Anush that's going to come and give us a presentation on their company, what they can do, and a little bit more so that you guys can learn kind of what's the latest and greatest in the chatbot world. So without further ado, pass it over.
All right. Hey, everyone. I'm the only one that's here on my own, so I'm gonna stand, I think. Try to get comfortable. Okay, has anyone heard of AI? No, I'm kidding. All right, a little bit about myself. So my name's Anuj. I've been at Ada for 5 years. We're an AI native chatbot company. I met Jose a couple months ago in New York, and we sat down for coffee and realized how many customers we had together. And I was so shocked and like pleasantly surprised, really, at how forward-thinking the whole Horatio team was with AI. And I'm honored to be here talking about it with all of you. A bit about my backstory. So I'm the head of customer experience partnerships and pre-sales at Ada. Prior to that, I was at Accenture, where I was in the robotic process automation center, and they actually have like the biggest BPOs in the world. So very, very familiar with the space and very familiar with what it means to bring automation to the space. So I'm gonna try to get through this relatively quickly. I know we have lunch. I wanna open up to questions, but let me jump right in. So I'm gonna start actually with a story. So a couple weeks ago, it was my cousin's wedding, and he actually called me like 3 days before saying, hey, can you come a day early? Just kind of shocking. But I was like, yeah, I'll try to come a day early. So I went onto the Delta website and tried to change my flight. But I got stuck because they actually tried to make me pay an extra $250 for the exchange fee of like the flight. So I actually messaged them on Apple Business Chat. And the person there was so amazingly helpful. And she actually taught me that instead of just paying this fee, I could just go and talk to them and upgrade to business class for like 80 bucks. And I would waive the whole change fee. This is an example of, it's a win-win for the business. She got an upgrade, I got an upgrade, and I saved money. I was so pleasantly surprised. And it just made me think about something super important. It's that customer service is much more than just completing tickets. Everything, all the work that we're doing here is extremely, extremely important because it's about delivering memorable experiences at every interaction. Everyone that's here, everyone that's sitting out there, they're the face of the company, right? They're the only person in many scenarios that anyone will talk to about that brand. The experience you deliver really, really matters, and it's extremely important that AI does not worsen that, but it makes it better. So I'm not going to go through this in detail because the team kind of talked about it earlier, but just a couple stats about the importance, right? 92% of customers are more likely to engage with a brand that provides a good experience. They want personalization. And especially in America right now, maybe it's the Gen Zers, but those numbers are going up where people are just going to leave a brand after one bad customer experience, which equates to $1.6 trillion in lost business across the US, just from like, hey, I had a dispute with my phone bill and I didn't get good service, so I'm going to switch, right? The importance is really there. However, this is all too familiar, right? Providing that level of experience is so hard. There's almost never enough agents. And even when there is enough agents per se, they probably don't have the time and energy to provide that white glove service, right? And that's something that we think we can help fix, and we want to help fix with a lot of these joint customers. So I introduce you all to the AI agent. This is what Ada is building. This is what we've been bringing to customers across the world for the past 7 years. And a couple of people here already use it, but just want to introduce you all to it now. Everyone's heard about chatbots. Chatbots are kind of a bad word where I work because it's a very minimizing word for what these agents are capable of doing. Chatbots are, in a simple way, AI that understands, right? Let's give it some basic machine learning. Let's teach it to understand what people say to me. So, hey, I lost my order in the mail, or I need a return label, whatever. Teach it on how to kind of understand those intents, and then put it into a rigid flow. Here's exactly what the bot needs to do upon every use case. But really, chatbots are just guided, drag and drop decision trees that don't really handle edge cases, and they can kind of understand intents. And they've been helpful. They've been really helpful at automating some use cases, getting rid of some of the super repetitive stuff, but they haven't really evolved to what they need to be to really help people make their CX more efficient and provide that white glove experience. So with the advancement of LLMs and the growth of the technology in this space, everyone's used ChatGPT in the past year, we've been able to develop not AI that understands, but AI that reasons. This means AI that's able to think. It's able to understand different use cases. When it's asked to put down a decision tree and it gets stuck, can it get itself out of that and continue forward and provide a good experience? This is the big evolution. AI that just understands and follows a path versus AI that understands and reasons to get to a solution. That is what has been developed. That is the major shift in the industry for the past year. That's what's going to unlock a lot of these use cases that previously were not possible. So I'm actually going to show it to you. So going back to the wedding story, we're going to sit in the persona of someone named Sarah. Sarah was going to the same wedding as me. She's a bridesmaid. She was super busy preparing for the wedding and whatnot, but she actually never opened up her bridesmaid dress that she ordered. So when she opened it up a couple days before the wedding, she's like, oops, this is the wrong color. So what does she do? She goes to the Ever After website, and she sees, hey, they've got a bot on the page. Okay, well, the gist of it, and I'll try to explain it to the best of my ability, but the gist of it is that someone goes in, speaks to the bot. They say, hey, I have an issue with my order. I need to essentially not just return it, but exchange it. The bot's able to go talk to Sarah, understand her problem. Sarah's like, they said, hey, what's your order number? Sarah doesn't have an order number because the bride ordered it for her. And she says, I don't have an order number, but here's my address, here's my email, et cetera, et cetera. The bot's able to figure that out on its own, go reach into Shopify, actually resolve the intent, process the return label. Then she says, hey, actually, I saw something else on your website that looks like a really cool cross-sell opportunity. I really think I want those shoes as well. So what Ada does is it continues to talk to Sarah, and we learn a bit more about what they want to buy, and then we actually seamlessly hand them off to an agent in Gorgeous, and the agent continues that flow, and they actually process the upsell. So using Ada to resolve the inquiry that it was able to do itself with AI using APIs, and then passing to the agent when it was the complex sale that we wanted to complete. The next video is going to be a little bit about how easy it is to set this up. In the past, it took a really, really, really long time to actually build out these flows, every single step of every single edge case. But now that the bot's able to reason, all you're actually doing is ingesting your knowledge base, giving it content, giving it the same training manuals you'd give to an agent, teaching the bot, here's what I want you to do in certain scenarios. And then you're also going to be giving it essentially actions, plug in a couple of APIs, and then boom, the bot knows, okay, here's my playbook, here's my knowledge, here's my action playbook, and it's able to stitch that together and actually reason all these use cases on its own. And I know that sounds too good to be true, so since the video is not playing and you want to see it, if you don't believe me, I'll show it to you. Maybe if we're lucky, I'll show it to you for your brand, because it is that easy to build within minutes. Just a couple quick case studies. So as I mentioned, Ada's been doing this for a while. We've got 1,000 customers all across the globe, e-commerce, fintech, software as a service, airlines, telcos. This use case with WellSimple really, really resonated with me, and I think it would with this group as well. Or what this company was able to do, they were using a scripted chatbot, right? They're using a scripted chatbot with Ada, actually. When they upgraded to our AI agent, they actually doubled their resolution rate through automation. So resolution means that the response was helpful, it was safe, it was accurate, didn't require an agent. And because they were able to do that, what they actually ended up seeing is an increase in their CSAT of 10%. And the reason they did that is because when they made their whole contact center much more efficient, they were able to actually provide a top-tier team. So they had a team of 12 agents who were 10 agents who were full-time dedicated to their most high-value customers. And they drove really, really strong experience to those high-value customers because they were able to free up that time with automation on the ground levels with all the tier ones. Another example, a brand that might be more familiar, it's one of the fastest growing brands across the globe in 2023. They actually got live with Ada's AI agent in 6.5 days and immediately saw a 39% resolution rate. So with that, I think one thing that I really want to highlight is that automation is very, very helpful to making your whole CX department much more efficient, but it is not the be-all, it's not the end-all. What you need is a really, really strong integration platform. So Ada's providing 6 different APIs. We integrate with pretty much all the softwares that you guys use today, whether it's your knowledge center, whether it's Aircall, who's one of our best partners, Gorgeous, who's one of our best partners, Zendesk. What Ada is able to do is ingest the content from all those places, ingest the tickets, learn from them, and then have those seamless handoffs to all those CX suites. And a lot of the places that we hand off to are all the softwares that the Horatio agents are trained in as well. right? So we use ADA effectively on the forefront. And then when that ticket escalation does happen, or that live chat escalation does happen, we're collecting all that information, and we're making sure it gets routed to the right agent in the right department with the right information so that they can be as efficient as possible when they do pick up the phone. And yeah, with that, I just have a couple of calls to action. So I ask you all to explore leveraging AI to make your CX operations more efficient. And think deeply about whether it would be helpful for you to onboard an AI agent to do the repetitive work so that you can unlock your human agent's ability to provide amazing customer experiences and represent your brand very well externally. With that, I'll say thank you. And I know we're out for lunch, but I mean it. If you want to see it, come find me.